back from the Unmasking, the horror tour, VIP tour, 6 houses, 5 hours. We're going to take you through a little bit of each. We weren't allowed to have our cameras up the entire time, but we are going to give you a peek behind the screens, behind the horror. And welcome. As I said, we just got back from the Behind the Screams Unmask the Horror VIP tour. There's a 3-house and a 6-house option. Of course, we chose the 6-house. We want to see as many of the very cool things, the behind the scenes, behind the screams, if you will, of all the houses that we could. It was very cool. We got to see, Scary Tales, Carnival Graveyard, the Poltergeist house, Seeds of Extinction, Trick or Treat, and of course everyone's favorite this year, Stranger Things. Got to go behind the scenes, got to go on with the lights on and see things that you might not normally get to see when going through the maze at night. So what do you say that we just go ahead and get right into it? This first house, and here we are inside, well actually outside of the Wicked Witch's lair, her castle. When we go inside, you'll see here some of her trinkets, that she took from her victims here. This is the Rapunzel scene. Now, we weren't able to keep our cameras on the entire time, so we just wanted to give you, hey, how you doing? Just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what we were able to see while we were able to have our cameras on. This is a very cool house. The Wicked Witch made all the good characters bad and all the bad characters worse. So great house, loved it. One of my favorites, absolutely. Got to see, let's see, the Little Mermaid was in there, Humpty Dumpty, 3 little pigs, but they might have killed a bear. Our next house that we were able to go into, Carnival Graveyard. This is one of my favorites. Here we are at Sal's Amusement Salvage. The story behind Carnival Graveyard, this is a graveyard, a salvage, where all old amusement park toys and signs and what have you go so somebody can purchase them later. However, the inhabitants there will kill all trespassers because they love, oh, there's our guard dogs, they love this place so much that they don't want anybody coming and taking their thing. Oh, the spook house. Hey, there's the Run sign. You remember the Run house a couple years back, Halloween Horror Nights? As we venture on, and as we go on to one of my favorite places in this thing. Oh, yeah, a couple welders in there welding all sorts of crazy devices to kill people. Yep, there's another trespasser, just hanging out. Yeah. So, as we go into my favorite portion of the Carnival Graveyard, the Love Shack. Who doesn't love a Love Shack baby? I know who loves a Love Shack. These two folks love a Love Shack. Carnival Graveyard, great house. This guy is going to give you nightmares, so you're welcome. Yeah, great house. It was actually, I was halfway through that house, I said, this is my favorite house. Bar none, no matter what else happens about the rest of the house. Oh, and there's some really cool tricks inside this house. There's some red buttons that you can press and actually wet. You can actually soak the people that are standing in front of you or behind you, depending on which of the red buttons that you press. The next house we were able to go into, the Poltergeist house, one of an extremely popular house this year. And here we are, the outside of the Poltergeist house, outside of the Freelings house. Craig T. Nelson of the Coach fame. Here we are as we're about to go inside of the Poltergeist house, and here's all the coffins from those dearly departed who were not able to. You move the headstones. You move the headstones. So yeah, some really cool stuff going on through here. Now, you might not be able to get all these details as you're going through the maze, but again, the lights were on for us, and we were able to go through. Really cool, and of course, what everyone wanted to see, of course, inside the Poltergeist house is Carol Ann and the clowns. We weren't able to bring the camera into the clown area, which I really wish we would have been able to. So you definitely have to. Yeah, there's some hands. giving you a helping hand into the house. I would have liked to see more, be able to bring you more, but cameras were only allowed on during some of the time, which I completely understand. You can't show you everything. So here we are. Oh, and there she is, Carol Ann. And then as we go into the other side, you never come out. Actually, you do come out. It's a door. But yeah, you're able to. One of the cool things about these tours, though, you're able to take a picture in front of some of these cool setups, like the house, like the Freeling house, and take pictures. I got pictures with Carol Ann, and I didn't get in a casket. I don't think we can get out a casket. I'll have to try that next year. Which brings us to a house that we were actually able to keep our cameras on throughout the entire house. It's a original house to Halloween Horror Nights this year. And this is Seeds of Extinction. You might remember this bus from The Purge last year. So here we are outside the Desert Valley Mall. Let me give you a little backstory on this house. Well, there's some payphones. There's something you don't see every day. It's a little bit scary. So this house it takes place 5 days after a meteor hits the Earth, and we see the apocalypse has taken over. These plants have sprung forth from this meteoroid and taken over Earth, taken all over all living things, all food, all well, I don't want to say all plants, all human beings, extinct, no more. Hey, there's some money. That money is wooden, by the way, so you can't actually take it. One of the best things about this house is you're not able to see it in the details, but hopefully you can get a good look here. Bicycle is coming up when we go into the convenience store, which I think is right around the corner. There are some comic books. In these comic books, you might want to pause, take a good look. There are stories about some of the houses of old. There they are. Some of the other houses, there's the in-between. Some of the other houses that they've done in the past. And they said possible houses for the future. So take a look at all of these comics. And you never know. There could be some sneak peeks at some very cool Halloween Horror Nights houses. Maybe Halloween Horror Nights 28, 20, well, no, this is 28, 29, 30, and so on. Why don't you grab yourself a Lightning Gulp, which is homage to the Lightning Gulch from, I think, last year, one of last year's houses. This is the wreck. It's a plane that, of course, crashed into the Desert Valley Mall. By the way, look right there, Tom and Dan. There's a Tom and Dan sticker. Shout out to the Orlando boys on the radio. Michaela is a big fan of Tom and Dan and decided to put a sticker up on this plane. This right here is something you won't be able to tell in the dark. Of course, we're able to see it. This is the art gallery portion of the mall. Very difficult to see in the dark, but we were able to go through it and see it in the light. I went through this house before, and I don't remember seeing any of these things. So that just goes to tell you the cool things that you can actually see on this VIP tour in the daylight. And here's a little tricky sidewalk. It's a sideways sidewalk, and it's actually the second floor fell down onto the bottom floor of the Mexican restaurant. So I don't know if the food is still good or not. Hey, you want some chilies? I just shook my shoulders. You guys couldn't see me, but that was a thing I did. Sorry about that. I can do it again when the camera stops. Oh, these pods right here, these pods are actually reused from Alien versus Predator house. They reuse a lot of props, especially in this house. So things you might not normally see during the nighttime mazes, but you get to see on these VIP tours. Very, very cool. This house has the most Easter eggs out of all of them. Again, the comic books. Pause, take a look around, see if there's anything that you might see that's coming up next year. Our next house, my favorite house, maybe my second favorite house, because I love Carnival Graveyard. My second favorite house, based on one of my favorite Halloween movies, Trick or Treat. The outside of the Trick or Treat house. There's Sam. Hi, Sam. Now, Sam loves Halloween traditions, and if you break any of those Halloween traditions, Sam is going to kill you. Hate to be blunt, but you know he's gonna kill you. This is the outside. This is very cool. Outside of Mr. Krieg's house. If you've seen the movie, you're familiar with Mr. Krieg's house. And oh, there he is, Sam. I'm waving. You can't really see that. So here we go inside of Mr. Krieg's house. This is the hallway where Mr. Krieg is actually fighting Sam in the movies, and he fights him here in the house. We go into Mr. Krieg's bedroom, and yes, trick or treat. Give me something good to eat. Written all over the room. It's very cool. This is my favorite. I'm really glad that we got to go in here and use our cameras. This is my favorite room of the house, you know, based on the movie. So super stoked that we were able to go in here and take some footage. I don't think I'd be sleeping there. And here's some of the kids that actually fell into the swamp. If you watch the movie, you'll know, very famous scene, or very iconic scene, I guess. All the trick-or-treaters, the bus driver creams himself, decides to take one for the team, and sends the kids into the swamp. Lovely story. Lovely. Which, of course, brings us to the main event of the evening. The house that everyone was talking about this year. The house with 120, 150, 180 minute lines. That's right, the Stranger Things house. Here we are inside the Hawkins National Laboratory. And then we transition to the woods. Of course, you've seen the show. So this house is based on season 1. So it's not a combination of season 1 and season 2. This is just based off of season 1 of the Netflix absolute hit, Stranger Things. Here we go. We're looking for Castle Byers. And I said we're looking for... Oh, there it is. There it is. There's Castle Byers. You can get your picture right next to Castle Byers. When else can you do that? So here we are. This is, of course, this is what everyone wants to see. This is inside the house. This is inside Joyce's house, of course, played by Winona Ryder. That's difficult to say. And there's the wall where the thing comes out. The Demogorgon is coming through the wall. Okay, so here we are now in the upside down. This is the laboratory inside of the upside down. And we're going to go through the portal here. Everything looks the same except for, you know, a little bit different. Again, we weren't able to have cameras everywhere, but this was a really cool scene in the house. So of course, you know, there were some other scenes that we couldn't show you. There was the upside down scene in the woods. Love to show you that. You know, where again Castle Byers was there, but in the upside down. So I hope you enjoyed just a sneak peek at what we were able to see on the Behind the Screams Unmasking the Horror Tour. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do it next year, 2019, for Halloween Horror Nights. I know I will be there, so you may see me. Absolutely love this tour. This is my first year doing it. Highly recommended from my friend Matthew. So thank you for letting me tag along and take some awesome pictures with you. So yeah, thank you for watching. Of course, Halloween, favorite holiday of the year. Have some other videos for Disney Cruise, and Not So Scary.